Welcome everyone to the very first episode of You've Made It, a podcast that celebrates youths, their successes, and those that journeyed with them along the way. My name is Amos, and our guest today is Joachim. Joachim joined YMCA's Vocational and Soft Skills program a few years back. This program equips youths with essential skills for work, such as resume writing, interview preparation, and communication. During their 6 months with us, youth will also get to be trained in a vocation of their choice. More information can be found in this episode's show notes. With him is Joachim, Joachim's caseworker during his time at YMCA. So without further ado, let's welcome Joachim and Joachim.
Hi, we have a very special friend that we have invited to come and share his experience with us. Okay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, I guess my name is Joachim. I used to be in this program back in 2016. I think I'm like the batch 26, and currently I'm 21. And yeah, I think that's about it.
What do you what course do you take when you are here?
I took the project bridge. The cooking class. Basically the culinary course lah. And yeah, and like throughout my journey during the course, right? I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs. And yeah, I mean, I managed to get through parts of it, and yeah, I mean, it was really interesting because most of it actually I didn't really participate because most of the time I'm absent. Then only towards the end, like where I was supposed to go to, was that I think like this 1 month course where they'll bring me go to Allspice. It's like a culinary institute. And like we get to learn the basics of cooking and all these kind of things, you know, the basics lah. So yeah, afterwards, I kind of like it a lot. So after the program, I decided to go and work like professionally in the industry. Like I started in a cafe first because I'm not too sure whether I would like you know, the professional environment. So I started on a cafe. Then afterwards, I guess I went on to working in a sort of a semi-fine dining restaurant afterwards in the cafe. Then I realized that actually I really do like, you know, the environment and the industry of chefs. So I decided to go to Shatec. Yeah.
So what makes you come to YMCA? You know, that time you were how old? You remember?
That time I remember I was how old was I? I remember I was 16 or 17. Was it? 17, is it?
2016.
2016, so I should be 15, I think.
I think so.
I think so.
I
think so. I was 15. Yeah, correct. I should be 15 or 14. I remember because I dropped out of school when I was in secondary. Apparently, my counselor came. She asked me whether do I want to join this program where they help youths, you know, like to move on to the working world. So I was like, okay lah, why not just give it a shot? Because I also got nothing much that I want to do also. But at the time, I know that I like cooking. Yeah. I mean, like, what gets me, you know, to like cooking a lot actually is, I remember like I remember the 3rd season of Hell's Kitchen, yeah, where I see Gordon Ramsay, you know, cursing and swearing at people and throwing things. I think like, damn, I didn't know kitchen can be so interesting, you know, like I didn't know you can throw things, you know, I didn't know you can shout. So that kind of environment kind of like attracts me a bit. Then I was like, okay, interesting. Like maybe I should, you know, like think about it, you know. Yeah.
So did you manage to got chance to throw things at the kitchen?
No. I never get a chance. I'm not in that position yet. But I got to see a lot of things fly before. Yeah. Pots and pans flying before. I see before. Yeah, and yeah, it's really interesting. And after like after my counselor came, I decided to enroll into the course. Then at first I didn't want to go to the course.
Why?
After I enrolled, because apparently I find that it's a bit far from my house to the center. Then I know I'll get lazy of it. So I decided to okay, maybe I don't want to go, before the day. I remember it was Sunday. I think it was Monday I was supposed to go. Then I didn't want to go, but afterwards I kind of okay, there's nothing much I can do. So, just chong on it, just go for it. And I kind of like it a lot. Yeah, because all the people down there teaching us everything, they're all very nice. And, they teach us a lot of things to help us, like writing our resume, managing our finances, all this kind of thing, yeah, which is really good.
Just now you were saying that during the time when you were attending the program, right, YMCA, the vocational training program, you were saying that attendance wasn't very good. Was there a reason why your attendance wasn't very good during the time? What are things like going through?
Well, during that time, I guess one of the reasons why I didn't really go was because I got some personal issues at home where I couldn't go. Yeah, I mean, and also after I think it was 1 week, I missed out a lot of the classes for 1 week because I have some personal issues at home. And yeah, it was quite stressful. Actually, I didn't want to continue because it was quite bad that I didn't want to continue. But I decided, okay, you know what? Forget about my own things, forget about my personal things. Just, focus on my future, which is to, learn new things, learn how to write my resume. Because at that time, I have no idea how to write my resume. And yeah, that's the main thing I want. I also want to learn, all the things to know when you are working in the working world, basically. Yeah. So that's why I decided to, forget about my own things at home and just go to the course. Yeah. So from there, I just carry on.
Yeah. I think that time when we realized that you disappeared for a while in the program, yeah, I think we actually went to visit you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, were you surprised that we went to visit you during that time?
Yeah, I was very surprised because actually I wasn't expecting. Because actually during that time that I was exam is because I was absent because I was my dad just passed away that time and I was so shocked. It was during I think it was my second or third day during the course. Yep. Suddenly I received a phone call from my sister saying that my dad just passed away. Then I was oh, okay. I was super shocked. I just had to rush down immediately. And then I just forget about the course immediately. And during my father's wake, apparently the most I think almost all of them came. Almost all the counselors, all of y'all came.
Yeah, the team, the project bridge team went down to.
Almost all of y'all came.
Yeah.
And I was quite shocked, I was damn, what? How you know where I was? Yeah, then I was huh? I was just dumbfounded.
So were you very touched when you see us there?
Yeah, holy shit. I thought I was really damn touched. Then I was damn, I didn't know y'all know where exactly the wake was. I was okay. Then yeah, that helps me a bit also actually, because I was oh, actually y'all really do care, Then yeah, so afterwards, after my dad's funeral, everything, then I decided that, the best thing for me now is to, continue the program, then finish it, then see how it goes from there.
Yeah. The time we actually also didn't want to lose you because we know that you're also going through a very tough time. Yeah, but we are glad to see that you came back, after you settled everything, and then you come back and continue pursuing what you feel like doing, the cooking part. Yeah, so that was some things that we actually was very proud of you in terms when you come back, to pick up your life again, to continue doing what you want to do. So then you move on to Allspice to do your culinary program. So during that time, any interesting thing that you experienced?
Well, during that time, honestly, I mean, it was okay. Like, I don't really recall what I did there, honestly, but I remember like I learned the really basic things like cutting, peeling, what is that? Like the different cuts, bunwas, tonne, batonet, all the different cuts lah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really interesting because I didn't know there was like all these weird cuts.
Yeah, also my first time
Yeah.
seeing it.
Yeah, I was like, because at that time I remember I don't know how to use a knife at all. Like really, I really have no idea how to use a knife. And yeah, so I just slowly, learn. Then they teach me all like the basics, baking, stew, braising, saute, all those like really basics. Like, then I was like, okay, and like I really like this kind of thing. So I moved on into a cafe.
So
Then-
was it helpful, like all these basic skill that you learn? Does it really help when you go to, work at the cafe, your very first job?
Definitely yes. Like definitely the cutting skills do help me because like when I was working in the cafe, apparently, they just asked me to cut. They just asked me to slice cabbage. Then I'm like, oh, okay. Like it's a very big thing because like I really don't know how to like how they want to do it. Then I also don't know what's their own technique that they want me to use to cut their cabbage. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I have to sort of try to impress them. So I remember I took quite some time to cut the cabbage, like one cabbage. I took quite some time. Yeah, and apparently I got a lot of scolding from the chef there. Yeah, which is
Yeah, I remember we went down.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember what was
we talked to your chef.
everyone was very nice. Like
Yeah.
all the team from Project Bridge, they all came down, support me, like they also come and like try the food also.
Yeah, yes.
And I was like, damn, okay. Like I was really touched.
You remember what
also.
you cooked for us?
I remember. I can't really remember.
We went
but
down.
I remember you order a few things. Like I remember you order the what is that? I remember you order pasta, but I can't remember what kind of pasta you order.
I think
Yeah, I
we also
remember.
have a burger.
You had a burger,
Yeah.
then chicken wings. I remember,
Yes.
but I can't remember what was the chicken. I remember it was. I remember what sauce was with the chicken wings. I remember it was curry mayo, but I can't remember what's the chicken wing. Season, like the marination. Yeah, so it was very interesting. Like when you all come down, then
It was prepared by you, right? At the time.
yeah, it was definitely prepared by me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my chef's like, okay, you go cook
Yes,
for them.
yes.
You go cook for them, okay? You just do whatever you want to do, you just cook. Yeah, like, oh, okay, can sweet. And then I like just, try new things.
And it was good. And we all
honestly, I anyhow do because they're not allowed, they don't allow me at that time to
cook, right?
cook the pasta and yeah, they didn't allow me, but
Yes.
at that moment they're like, okay lah, sure lah, just let you do it.
Yeah.
So I honestly I have no idea how to do it, so I just anyhow just cook the pasta and then they put this and that inside, then just okay, can already. Yeah, so yeah, apparently I like it, then I'm like, okay lah, can lah, as long as you like it.
So
can
does
already.
that like also give you more confidence in, like next time, start
Yeah.
to cook for people?
Yeah, like that was honestly that place was like my stepping stone, like to work in a better environment, So yeah, so that was like the very first time that I experienced like the hardship in the kitchen, like working long hours, the pay is not the best thing in the world, and also like getting scolded a lot, getting like things flying around a bit sometimes. Yeah, which is all part of the package,
So what was the most challenging thing that you encountered in your first job? Because it's transition, from no working experience, then suddenly now you are working. What was the most difficult transition or challenging things that you encountered in your first job?
Apparently, I think the most challenging thing was standing. Honestly, standing, because I can stand up to maybe, let's say, like, because I usually work from like maybe example like maybe I work from usually I work from 7 a.m. to maybe 9:30 around there, so most of the time I'll be standing around. And it's really tiring for the first 1 week, 1 week plus to stand, because honestly your leg just can't take it anymore. Like it's so painful and cramp. You know, every night is cramp. Yeah, which is quite tiring, you know. And I guess it's also like the long working hours, which is the tough part, because like honestly we don't really get break, but we do, but most of the time is, you know, we have to work through our break time, because it's quite busy, especially during the weekends. And yeah, I guess those are the two most challenging thing. Yeah, and also to always say yes to the chef, you know, even though he scolds you and you are in the, sometimes maybe he's in the wrong, but you just say yes, you know, because you know you are like the smallest in the kitchen. Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, not only you, I think a lot of our youth that we work with in the past or even current, a lot of youth struggle the part about long hour and then also standing long hours. Yeah, so is there anything that how you manage?
How I manage that?
So maybe you can teach some of our youth, like, you know, how to handle this portion, like standing for so long.
Honestly, I got no how you say advice to give you about how to stand, you know, like honestly just stand on it, you know, like if your legs feel tired, move a bit, you know, that's all, you know, that's all you can do, honestly. Like you can't really complain, you can't really tell the chef, hey, chef, my legs are a bit tired, can relax for a while. No? Honestly, right, if I was a chef also, honestly I wouldn't allow you also, because that's your job, your job is to stand also. Yeah, so honestly, you know, just move your legs, move your toes, you know, like just, you know, position it where it's more comfortable for you, I guess. Yeah lah. And also honestly the most important thing in the kitchen is just say yes to the chef lor. Like just be humble as possible, because it will really go a long way. Because I see people like youngsters like me, they usually fight back with the chef, like they usually say back, which is really rude. And also you can get fired really easily. Yeah, so that's the thing about, you know, being in a kitchen. You also have to humble yourself really a lot. Yeah. And yeah, that's about it.
Wow. Okay, so actually you also went through a lot in your work. Have to learn to tahan standing, have to tahan the long hour. On top of it, you have to bear with all the nonsense from the chef.
Yeah, then that was quite interesting. That was a very interesting time. Then afterwards I moved on to the boss. He asked me to come over to another restaurant, which is a bit more fine dining, but it's semi-fine dining.
Yep.
So that's where I learned about fine dining things, because actually I have no idea what the hell is fine dining. You know, I don't know what is fine dining. I thought maybe it's like, what my thought of fine dining was something fine, so smaller things, you know, that's what my thought is. So I was like, okay, you know, like just try it, something new. So yeah, at first I find it really hard, because they wanted like more precise cuttings, more precise plating, and it's very different from what I learned. So honestly, actually I couldn't like really take it. I can't really take the pressure, you know. But I really like the job, honestly. I really like what I do there. But it's just that I see the working hours is much longer than my previous one, and it's more tougher. And yeah, so like I remember the time that they asked me to cut the spring onion into very fine julienne, which is like just very fine shreds of spring onion. I take many hours. I think 4 hours to just cut one small box of spring onion. Yeah, I remember I can't make it. Then the chef kept he just kept scolding me non-stop. Yeah, because I took like almost like 2 weeks just to like how you say, cut faster by maybe 1 hour, you know. Yeah, so which is quite interesting during the time.
Yeah, I remember you were sharing with us that, you know, you always wanted to go into working with a Michelin star right?
Yeah,
You always say
correct.
that your aim is to hit 3-star, right?
Yeah.
So you want to share with us, like, what are your journey, from fine dining restaurant. Then how do you manage to pursue your dreams, to ultimately you have a chance to work in a 3 Michelin star,
Well, I mean, I guess like when I was after I worked at that restaurant, apparently I move on. Like I try to how you say find something that is more onto like a bit fine dining, but I realized that I really lack of knowledge, so I decided to like go to Shatec, which is a culinary school. It's a culinary school and hospitality management kind. So I decided to go to enroll in that school, but the problem is I think I didn't have the qualification because I didn't even have like O level or N level. So apparently I had to take some tests, like then apparently luckily I passed, just by a bit, because they kept changing my marks, I had to redo. Yeah, so afterwards, after I passed, I enroll. So that's where things get interesting, like, I mean, like during my Shatec days, I guess, I do learn a lot of things, honestly, like basically like the basic things, honestly. So like cutting, more precise cutting than allspice, and also like the chef sharing me like different knives, all this kind of thing. So that's where I learned there's such thing as Japanese knife, because last time I only believed that there's only Western kind of knife. So then after that I see Japanese knife. They're like, oh, okay, I didn't know Japanese knife is so expensive. All these kind of new things just hit me. Yeah, and also like I guess I get to work with a lot of different people from different backgrounds, which is pretty interesting because like some of them, they don't really like cooking, honestly, like just do it just for the sake of getting the certificate, honestly. So like I work with people who likes cooking and don't like cooking, so it's very different, like how different people see things. Yeah. So, and I also got see like a few times that I remember there's this girl that I was working with inside the kitchen. Yeah. Then apparently she cut herself. And I thought, okay, like that's pretty normal, right? Then apparently she passed out. She totally blacked out. Then I was like, whoa. I didn't know you can black out, from cut. But apparently my teacher say, my chef say, he said it's very common. They're like, oh, really? So it's very common to black out inside the kitchen. It's like, yeah, it's very common, I'm like, okay, I hope that I will never black out inside the kitchen, Yeah, because it was quite scary, because I remember she blacked out she blacked out at the corridor there, which she hit her head against the wall, which is, quite bad. Yeah. So yeah, that was the first time that I heard someone can black out from a cut, a very small cut,
Moving forward, right? For you have like from working from cafe, since you're 15 years old, then to restaurant, fine dining restaurant, all the way to Michelin, 1-star Michelin to 3-star Michelin. So in this whole journey, right, 21 years old now, so all this while you've been working, quite a long period of time, in the kitchen. What makes you able to sustain in this type of jobs, And since the day when you joined the program, you're really very passionate. A lot of our youth, halfway through, they lose steam and then they find, oh, maybe this is not what I want. But how do you manage to sustain all these years of, culinary, cooking, chef, working in a restaurant?
I guess honesty is down to passion and perseverance, like honestly. So like I feel like I really love cooking a lot. Like, I really admire like people who can cook and food also, Like honestly, if you don't have a passion for something, right, I wouldn't, like if I don't have a passion for cooking, right, I wouldn't do it also. And also like how you say, like I guess the fear, like when I first started off, honestly, I really wanted to quit so badly. I really wanted to just like, okay, forget it, just stay at home and do nothing, just play my game, that kind. Then I realized that honestly, if I quit, right, what I'm going to do in the future. So I think of that every day. So if I quit now, so example, in like 5 years time, what will I be doing, So that's the fear lah, when I wanted to quit every time. So, I mean, I did quit a few times. I did, like just immediately just go MIA, just like a very common thing when I was very young. So usually I just go MIA, then my chef will call me, then he fired me, that kind. Yeah, I remember it happened a few times already.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. So afterwards, like, I kept thinking, like, why did I just, like, go MIA, Then I realized that I really can't do this anymore. So I really need to persevere on what I really love to do. Then, yeah, so I push on. I find new job. I push on. And got sometimes that I want to quit so badly, but I think that, okay, cannot quit. If I quit now, I will not have a proper future next time. So for me, it's passion which drives me to work more. And also losing my job. Also, like, I will not get money, like, there's no money, there's no income. So that's the fear of, no income, no future. That which makes me want to push my passion more. Yeah, so yeah, I guess that's the main thing,
So if there are youth out there, listening to you right now, right, and they are in the verge of thinking whether should they stay or leave, what would you tell them?
Honestly, just stay lah. Like, I mean, but first of all, you have to find something what you really like to do, like really love to do. Like, how you say, like, if you find that this thing, what you're doing is not what you like, you should try another thing, because I guess most of you are still very young, and it's okay to try new things, And I guess, like, when you try new things, as time goes by, like, maybe you can work, like, maybe this week I'll work this job, this new job, this odd job. Then next week I'll work another odd job. Find something that you really like to do. Then once you find it, right, just chong for it, just push for it no matter what. Yeah, because that's the part where you can succeed in life, really, I feel. I mean, even though now I'm 21, right, I can't really say that you will succeed in life, but I feel like that's the proper way. That's how I think. That's how I do, like, how gets me through my 15 to 21 now. Yeah, so yeah, I guess that's like the best way. And also, like, being young at that time, I really wanted to play a lot. That's the thing. I really wanted to, like, spend my youth, playing, doing things that my age people would do. But the thing is, like, the problem is, like, 16 years old, would you want to work inside a restaurant, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, like, where you see people outside, like, wow, having fun, Then I think to myself, like, yo, they are having fun, but at least I'm earning money, like, money is, like, honestly, is one of the drive also to make
motivation.
me work. Yeah, motivation to make me work. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, since they're having fun, but I'm earning money, so I can buy my own things, So I have my own responsibility, which is very good to feel. Like, the feeling of, having money and, buying things that I want, right, is better feeling than, having fun outside, Yeah, so that's for me. But, for other people, I'm not really sure. Yeah. As well.
So you have tried different type of setting, restaurant. So what is your next pursuit, like your dream? Your dream already come true, right? 3-star Michelin you try already. So what is after that? What is it for you?
I guess I'm very fortunate to try a lot of things. Like, I got a lot of good opportunity. Like, because after Shatec, like during Shatec, during my internship, I worked at Swiss Hotel, which is like the most amazing place I ever worked, because that's where I really, really learned a lot of things. Like, I learned about Japanese cuisine, which is really, like, insane, because it's like one of the best thing I think the culinary world has ever invented, because, like, there's Japanese wagyu, there's everything Japanese is basically nice. So yeah, And after I went to Swiss Hotel, I wanted to do something more fine dining, because I really like it. So I tried restaurant Zen, which is an amazing place also. Like, it's a really amazing place. But I feel like I jumped too far, Like, I really feel like I take a big leap, because last time in Swiss Hotel, I never really worked in a fine dining establishment. It's more to like a semi-fine, towards a casual semi-fine. And I feel like jumping to a 3-star is a bit too much for me, like really too much for me. So I really want to try something that is a bit more onto the starting pace, like trying 1 star, then go on 2 star, then 3 star. Because honestly, 3 star is really, really, really tough. A lot of people quit, like the turnover rate is very high inside Michelin star restaurant, like maybe it can be like 1 week, like 1 week you can just leave. Usually people 1 week leave, That's the turnover rate. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so your plan would be going to fine dining?
My plan most likely will be either, because I'm planning to work in Singapore first, then after I gain enough experience, maybe 2 to 3 years in Singapore, maybe I'll move on to overseas, which either will be either Denmark or somewhere in France, Like, I know Denmark where I want to go, like definitely Copenhagen, because I feel like Copenhagen has a lot of amazing restaurants there, like really good restaurants. And I also want to learn about Nordic cuisine, because I find Nordic cuisines like really interesting, like this fermenting, because honestly Nordic season is really depending on the seasonality of the product. So example, in winter, right, whatever is winter is whatever they will use for their food, which is very interesting, because winter there's nothing actually, but somehow they will have some kind of ingredients or some kind of product they will use in the restaurant itself, which is really amazing. Then I really want to learn Nordic cuisine very badly. And also one of the reasons I want to go to France is because, like, France, honestly, who doesn't want to go to France? Because everything there is, amazing. Like the food, French food, everywhere you go is all about French food, Like everything we learn inside the restaurant and whatever we put on the plate is mostly all French, So which is really good if I were be able to go to France and learn, from the core itself, Like going to a classic fine dining French restaurant, where they will put out like amazing food there. Yeah, so that's what I want to do.
Yeah, so I think having a dream at a young age can come true if you really want to pursue it.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course, definitely like what you share. I'm hearing you that beside passion, you also need to have perseverance,
Yeah.
to tahan all the hardship. And from there, your dream can come true one day.
Yeah, definitely.
And within just a short span of 5-6 years for you, and you already have already achieved the dreams that you have shared when you come to YMCA and share what is your goal.
Yeah. My goal that time, I remember my goal that time was like, I told Wai Ching, one of the team there, I told her, I said that I wanted to work in a 3 Michelin star restaurant. That was like my ultimate dream.
Yeah. So now you already have experienced that. So actually you're also refining your own goal, along the way.
So as time goes by, I will try to, have a better goal, or
I would
bigger
say it's
goal,
better goal. It's just that basically you actually refining, building on to the goal that you had set 5-6 years ago. Yeah. So within these 5-6 years, you already have achieved because you never give up. Yeah. So we also want our audience to have this, when they hear, right, they also will have this idea, must always persevere, never give up. And one day their dreams can come true. It may not be 10 years. Maybe within the 5-6 years they can achieve, because you have proved to them that you achieve. Yeah. So these are some things that we also hope that, the audience that are listening, they themselves will not give up. Even at this point, they feel like giving up. They will hold on to their passion, and hopefully they will come to see that the dreams will come true one day. Yeah, so actually your sharing is very inspiring for a lot of people. If they will have that desire to push through and work through, right? I think, yeah, they can see the dreams come true. Because a lot of people think that going Michelin star maybe in the next 15 years, 20 years to reach there. But, you know, in such a short time, you already hit from 1 star, then all the way to 3 star. Thanks for sharing your experience. We appreciate the time that you come here to share your life story with the people who will be listening.
Thank you, Joachim, for sharing with us your story and showing that it is possible to achieve our goals when we take action and persevere through it. You have been an inspiration to all of us. And thank you, listeners, for staying to the end of the podcast. If you like what you have listened, don't forget to subscribe. See you all next time.